Hi, my name is Faith Whittington, and today I want to show you how you can download and export and share tables from the 2020 Decennial Census Detailed Demographic and Housing Characteristics File B, or Detailed DHC-B. The Detailed DHC-B provides statistics on household type and tenure for detailed and ethnic groups in American Indian and Alaska Native tribes and villages. Let's head to data.census.gov to take a look. Let's say I want to find data from the detailed DHC-B on the American Indian tribes living on the Cheyenne River Reservation and off-reservation trust land in South Dakota. It's important to note that I don't have any specific tribe in mind. Rather, I just want to find data for anyone who reported their race as any one of the American Indian tribes. To start, let's go to data.census.gov and click on the Advanced Search button found beneath the search bar on the landing page. I always like to select the geography first, so from the left side of the screen, under Geographies, click on All Geographies, and then American Indian Area, Alaska Native Area, Hawaiian Homeland. At this point, you could scroll down the list, but I prefer to use the search bar as a shortcut. Type in Cheyenne River and check the box next to Cheyenne River Reservation and Off-Reservation Trust Land, South Dakota. Next, I want to let the site know that I want to find data from the 2020 Detailed DHC-B. I can do this by navigating down to Surveys, clicking on Decennial Census, and checking the box next to the Detailed Demographic and Housing Characteristics File B. The last thing I want to do is let the site know that I want data for anyone who reported their race as one of the American Indian tribes. I can do this by navigating to Topics and clicking on Race and Ethnicity and American Indian and Alaska Native. At this point, we have a menu of options to choose from. Using a selection from the Detailed American Indian and Alaska Native Alone menu will give you data on those who reported only a single entry, such as Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe. Using a selection from the Detailed American Indian and Alaska Native alone, or in any combination menu, will give you data on those who reported a single response for their race, like those just mentioned, as well as those reported that entry with one or more races, such as Cheyenne River, Sioux Tribe, and Swiss. And then we have 4 options for all available detailed Alaska Native tribes, all available detailed American Indian tribes, all available detailed Canadian and French American Indian tribes, and all available detailed Latin American Indian tribes. Using any of these will give you alone or in any combination data on all of the detailed American Indian and Alaska Native groups that fall under each of these categories. For example, checking the box for all available detailed Latin American Indian tribes will result in data for all those tribes that happen to be available for the geography of interest. The last option for all available tribes will result in data for all American Indian and Alaska Native alone groups, as well as American Indian and Alaska Native alone or in combination groups that happen to be available for the geography of interest. These would include any from the 4 large categories: Alaska Native villages, American Indian tribes, Canadian and French American Indian tribes, and Latin American Indian tribes. The first 2 options are most helpful when you have specific groups in mind that you want to look at. The last 5 options are most helpful if you do not necessarily have any specific group in mind to use and you want to get a full idea of all the different detailed groups available for the geography. Since I don't have any specific group in mind and I'm interested in looking at people who reported their race as any one of the American Indian tribes, I'm going to click on the 4th option for all available detailed American Indian tribes. Once you have made these selections, click on the Search button in the lower right corner of the screen. For the combination of these geographies with the filter for all available detailed American Indian tribes, we receive a list comprised of 5 tables. Please keep in mind though that when you do your own searches for detailed racial or ethnic groups and American Indian and Alaska Native tribes and villages, you may receive up to 6 tables in return. But it's possible that not all of them will contain data for your group of interest. When using data from the detailed DHC-B, we recommend that you review our video that explains how the amount of data that you receive is determined and how this data will appear in data.census.gov. This video can be found at the link provided below. Returning to our list of tables, we can see that the first table provides data on the types of households where the householder race is one of the American Indian tribes, either alone or in combination with one or more other race groups for the Cheyenne River Reservation and off-reservation trust land. The 2 subsequent tables also provide data on household type. The difference between these tables is the number of categories for household type that are provided. T03001 just provides the total number of households. In addition to the total number of households provided in each of these tables, T03002 provides 2 household type categories, and T03003 provides 6 household type categories. Then we can see that table T04001, which looks at tenure, provides the total number of occupied housing units where the householder race is one of the American Indian tribes, either alone or in combination with one or more other race groups. Table T04002 provides the same total as well as 3 additional tenure categories. Just keep in mind that the amount of data received in these tables is dependent upon the size of the population of interest and the size of the geography. Let's take a look at T04001, tenure. We can see that this table shows us the number of occupied housing units for the available American Indian tribes. From the top of the table, we can confirm that we are using the 2020 Detailed Demographic and Housing Characteristics File B, and the universe of this table is occupied housing units. Now that I've found one of the tables that I need, I'd like to get into Excel. I have a few different options for doing so. The first option is to export the table. I can either export to Excel or export to a CSV format. If you do the export to Excel, you'll see that it looks very similar to what you see on the screen. This is really the best option to go with if you want a presentation-ready format. Let me show you by clicking on the Excel button. Once it opens, you'll see that there are 2 different worksheets. The first, labeled information, provides information on the data set, the filters used, and the notes about the table. The second, labeled data, provides the actual table of data. You can see that it's set up the same way that it was on the screen, and it's very easy to read. The other option is to download the table to the zip file. Once I click on the zip button, a prompt will appear telling me to download a CSV version. If I click that button, the zip file is created, and I just have to click on the download to open it. For each individual table that you download, you'll receive 3 files, one called column metadata, one called table notes, and one called data. While it's quite possible that you'll want information found in the other 2 files, the data one is more likely going to be the one that you'll want because it gives you the actual data for the table. When you open it, you'll probably immediately notice that it looks very different from the exported version of the table. This is because when you download, you're getting data in a flat machine-readable file. One of the benefits of using the downloaded version is that you'll get the GeoID, which is the unique identifier for each geography. There are other ways to save or share a table that don't involve Excel. One of these ways is to use the Share button. If you click on that, you are presented with the option to share the table to different social media platforms or send it to someone via email. You can also copy the link directly to save it or share it with someone else. I hope this tutorial has helped in learning how to export, download, and share the tables you find from the 2020 Detailed Demographic and Housing Characteristics File B. For more guidance on using data.census.gov, please visit our resources page at the link provided below. Thank you.